Business. The heart and soul of the world's economy. Every minute, money exchanges hands from buyers to sellers, from the field to the consumer. On The Budding Entrepreneur, we shall spend time with the entrepreneurs and hear their ideas and crisscross them with the expert analysis so that your pie is well cooked before you take the step into business. Good evening, you're watching Budding Entrepreneur. My name is Shiba Drani. So last week we were talking about running a fun park, and we had our resident business expert Job Kiage. He told us information on that. So we're going to be finished that particular episode, and then also we're going to be talking to Natalie Roy. Now Natalie Roy is who we got to catch up with in Startup Now. Startup Now is an event run by Wilkins Fadili. Then also we're going to be talking to Patricia Okello, who happened to also be at a startup event by Wilkins Fadili, and she's a former MTV graphics designer. She's now a published author and she's pursuing her dreams. So we're going to be talking to her about that and entrepreneurship and all her skills that she has. Then also, of course, we have Shiba's Business Minute, just to highlight bits and tips of what we gather throughout the whole segment. Then of course, Budding Entrepreneur News, where you can get all the information you need to know about what's happening in the country. On Facebook, we're going to be live answering your questions, and so make sure that you take a look at that and are in touch with us and ask as many questions as possible. So thank you for joining us. You're watching again Budding Entrepreneur. So as I mentioned earlier, we have not finished speaking to Joe Kiage, our resident business expert, about running a fun park. We left off at advertising, so we're going to continue because we know there's a lot more that goes into running a business apart from advertising. So let's take it to Joe Kiage, and so that he can give us more in-depth detail on how to actually run the business and make it success. When do you start counting profits after the startup?
When you start a business, there is that growing process. There is the beginning of the business, there is when you break even, there is when the business matures, and there is that place when the business now becomes stable, and there is that place where your business might come down, and that is the point where you are supposed to exit the business or exit. Now, how long is it going to take you before you break even? That is going to determine on how much advertising that you're going to do.
Okay, for me, I think I know I'm making profits when there is constant demand for new items to bring in. When we realize that whatever we are having is not even sufficient for the customers who are patronaging the park, then I know it's, we can for sure tell we are making the money when even the equipments we have are not enough. We have certain target markets, yeah? Like being the home of family entertainment, Sunday is a very good day for us. Public holidays are also very good day for us. In between the week, since we are able to reach out to groups, like we're able to reach out to schools, especially the private schools, where they have incorporated the fun days in their calendar of events. So you find us being very busy, even over the weekdays, when the schools come in. On Saturday, it's a keen day for Sunday schools. Yeah? So ideally, you find us being busy almost throughout the course of the week.
How will one make sure that they're maintaining clientele in the amusement park?
It is what we call personalized encounters. If I'm your customer, I always visit your place for your services. Given time, you will know me. You've heard people say, give me the normal. In Swahili they say, nipatie kawaida. You've heard that. That means this person has known you as you're the customer. So the moment you show up yourself, the person attending you always knows that this is what he wants, this is what he wants. For you to maintain the clients, you must know what they want, at what time they want it, and how best to serve.
It's all about customer service, because ideally, the items that we have at the Vibe Fun Park, I can't say they are so superior than the items in the other parks. But what really keeps the customers coming back and wanting more is the level of customer service. Customer service is key for us.
One of the requirements when you're starting this business is you to locate yourself where there are other businesses and other services.
Okay.
Remember, you will be catering for the kids.
Yeah.
At the same time, there will be parents who will be accompanying those kids. They will require something to do while they are watching their kids do their fun stuff.
Looking at it, and the fact that we are on a loan, it's not like a park, maybe in a mall or something like that. It is important for us to have a restaurant, because ideally, children will not pray on an empty stomach. So I look at a restaurant as being complementary, just to complement what you are doing at the park. So yes, for us, it is very necessary that we have a restaurant.
In trying to find out the different challenges, we go to the entrepreneur that actually has the amusement park. And of course, Job Kiaga is going to give us the solutions to those challenges. So let's take it to the entrepreneur and figure out what the exact challenges are.
For Vibe Fun Park, one, we are an alcoholic fun park. So there are times when you get clients and who believe that they are one way of having fun. It is in them sitting to sip some beer, maybe as they watch their children play. We are not able to accommodate this kind of, families, this group of customers. So at times it's very saddening when we just see them walk away. But because we have a vision and there's that which you have set to do, we are not able to accommodate them. Another challenge maybe that I can mention is that at times, especially if by any chance you get a wrong placement of staff, especially maybe someone who is not child friendly, this becomes a challenge if a child is mishandled. So we try to really eliminate that as much as possible by doing the right sourcing of human resource. And really looking at this as an amusement center, it is something that everyone is now embracing. So you only need to have the right equipment in place, so you also need to do your homework, your kind of research. You need to find out which are those items which interest children. So ideally, you're able to put that in place, be able to have the right staffing, the right human resource, then I don't foresee any exit. Anything you put your hands and your mind to do that which you are passionate about. In whatever sphere, in terms of business, you will succeed.
So that's how you run a fun park. Thank you to Job Kiage for just giving us insight on how to run that. So I'm pretty sure you have all your questions answered, and don't forget you can catch us on Facebook. Now we're live answering all the questions that you want to know about running a fun park. So now let's take it over to Natalie Roy. Natalie Roy speaks on passion, and as I mentioned before, she's a motivational speaker. So let's see what she has to say about the ins and outs and having passion in the entrepreneurial sector.
I wanted to be a professional dancer, and I ended up not being a dancer, but I have other passions, so I followed other passions, and I would maybe give that as advice. Check how you feel, like check how you feel in your own body even, because if one passion you pursue, for example, it doesn't work out, there might be another option, and I would advise you to try new things, try out and see how you feel. Do you feel that alignment? Do you feel happy? Do you smile? Do you have energy? Like, try out a few things and see what works, because you might discover a passion that you've never even thought you had.
So what you're about to see is Patricia Okello telling a little bit about her story. It's the sheer fact that she didn't give up on a particular idea, irrespective of the fact that, you know, she was given a chance by the bank, you know, a loan and everything. She wasn't able to pay it back. But the most important thing is that she didn't give up.
After I'd opened my office for like 2 years, I decided I was going to buy some equipment that branded on pens. It was called a pad printer. It was all the rage that time. So I went to the bank and I got a loan and bought this pad printer. It got shipped in and we unpacked it. And when we started doing the trial run, it was so heavy I couldn't even move the machinery. And I just knew immediately this thing is just not going to work. You know, and the thing had not even been there 24 hours, and I knew I have completely blundered. But I had to pay back the loan and keep going after that. And it didn't stop me from then buying new equipment in the future. So it's something that happens in your journey. I don't think you can avoid failure. You just have to, don't think about it as failure, more as lessons.
So, as you already know, on The Budding Entrepreneur, our experts tend to have differing opinions because of their particular experiences in business. So, it's up to you to take what works for you or what may not work for you. So, let's take a look at Patricia Okello's thought on partnerships.
When you're in business, you're answering a need that is in the market, right? If it's your idea, I'm not very sure why you're looking. There's the element where you need a partner, you know, to prop you. But if it's your idea or if it's your product, just get it to the market. Start telling people about what you're doing. It'll come together, and you just have to have the faith that it'll come together.
Now, as you know, on The Budding Entrepreneur, people have different perspectives on finances. But so let's take a look at what Patricia's perspective on finances is.
I think everybody here has a mobile phone, and that mobile phone has probably more than 20 or 30 contacts. That is your network at this point in time. You can call 5 people and pitch your idea to them and just listen to what they're saying. You know, that's how you know, we're talking about amorphous growth of ideas. That's how it is. But if you keep this fantastic idea that you know is going to solve world problems to yourself, you're not going to get anywhere with it. So you must start with what you have. I've gone for pitches where people have invited me to their homes, and, you know, they're asking, we're just asking you to put 1,000 shillings into this idea. It doesn't have to be like, you know, huge amounts of money, but you must start. Otherwise, if you don't start, you're not offering anything.
Do you know the importance of being curious when you're doing business?
I don't know if it's a habit, but personally what I try to do is staying connected with my body, because there's a lot of attention and energy in the brain, and because we have to think, we have to set goals, we have to look at, like, doing research, asking people for help, asking people for money and so on. So we are thinking a lot. But what I like to do is do the check-in with myself sometimes. Am I aligned? Is it really where I want to go? How do I feel? Do I follow my intuition, or do I trust my intuition? If you follow your intuition, it's also something that can get you quite far.
Fear. I know a lot of you guys have fear or have been motivated to do particular things, but even on this show, but you become fearful and not necessarily do what you're supposed to do because of fear.
Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Just imagine that your dream, there's a big wall. Well, it's not really a wall, but it's an invisible wall, and everything you aspire for is on the other side of fear. Fear is a constant companion, especially when you're looking at excelling. The fear of failure, the fear of being looked at as incapable of having made the wrong decisions. They're constant companions. And I think the bigger the risk, the bigger the fear. And that is why there's so few successful, like super successful entrepreneurs, because sometimes you get to a point and you're comfortable and you're like, why shake this? Why move forward? You know, the people who push that, you know, that line, keep pushing it further, are the ones who keep excelling. So it's with us constantly. Make it a friend, and then, what do they say? Embrace it and then do it anyway.
Natalie Roy has an interesting perspective on fear. She looks at fear on 2 different ways. So let's take a look so that we can try and understand the fear and how it can help or hinder in particular business endeavors.
When you see a situation you don't understand, do not say, I don't understand, but just why? Why is it like that? Who decided that? Or who has been involved in the decision making, or who has not been involved in the decision making, or what can I do? Or like, ask yourself questions. If you meet someone new or someone who does something that you don't know anything about, ask questions, being curious, and then that's how also you get new ideas, and that's how you get contacts or connections you didn't even, that were not even expected.
So Patricia Okello gives the point of that entrepreneurship should have personal boards of directors. Now, what is a personal board of director? From what she explained, I understood it as people that are going to be real with you, not going to sugarcoat anything that you want to do or you're trying to achieve, or the goals that you're trying to achieve. So let's take a look at what Natalie Roy has to say about having personal board of directors in your life.
There's something that women do a lot that men don't do, and that's why my book is about women, but it's a secret that I want to give you. We share and we share. People give us feedback, give us advice. So what I discovered, and this is what I call, you have to form your private board of directors. It's a group of people who can give you honest feedback. You see the guy who's telling you that your product is too cheap, right? What is fair market price? I love it, because in consultancy, and I'm sure it happens, people always tell you, come up with a figure, base it on something, but just to get those numbers, come up with 3 people who are not necessarily your friends. Sometimes people who have used your product and have been satisfied with it. Three people, not more than 3 plus yourself. You will get the pricing from those 3 people, believe me, and that is what you'll take to market. Your private, personal board of directors.
Mentors help, of course, entrepreneurs to go from 1 to 10 or from 10 to 100, help them to grow and develop. But also some people realize after going through the mentoring program that there might be another way of solving the problems they want to solve than entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is a way to do things, but it might not be the only way.
When we come back, guys, we'll be having the Budding Entrepreneur News and also Shiva's Business Minute, so be sure to join us.